I'm very happy, and I just want to, on behalf of the co-founders of ACN and myself, just let you know that you have done a great job in the past month. We have had one of the smoothest introduction of a new service, a service that makes sense. Now the UK is slowly opening up again. There are so many businesses we can go out and attract and help them to get a better service, maybe even help them save some money, doing something for their business, giving them options they don't have with their current provider. So I just want to say I'm happy to be here. You will hear more from me, you'll hear more from me later on. I just want to introduce now a gentleman I've got to learn very well over the last couple of months. He's been instrumental for the launch. He's been instrumental for this partnership we have with First Data Fiserv. So please welcome me, help me welcome on the call, Mr. Rob Jeffrey. He's the Senior Partner Development Manager for First Data Fiserv. So I hope you can hear me, Rob.
I can indeed.
Thank you so much for being here. The call is yours, sir.
Super. Abubakar, Thomas, thank you very much for the intro. Delighted to be here. So without further ado, I'll just share my screen just to make sure you are seeing what I'm seeing. And then we'll go into the presentation today. Okay, so like I said, delighted to be here. As Thomas mentioned, we are now just over a month into our partnership with ACN. It's been a great month. What we're here to do today is to really just recap on that month so far. For those of you that don't know, we will touch upon who we are, who First Data are and Fiserv, how you generate an opportunity, the types of devices that we have, the types of products, so online solutions, and then, like we said, some learnings and some FAQs on what we've seen so far in the first month. So who are we? In short, we process credit and debit card payments. So you'll hear a lot of different terms, whether that be merchant processing or acquiring or card processor. All of those things are used to describe what we do, which is effectively to provide businesses with the ability to take and accept credit and debit card payments. Now, we're a global leader in what we do. We've been around for 35 plus years. And we have sort of three arms to our business, which I'll touch upon shortly on another slide, but we are the largest in our field globally in all of those arms of our business. We're fortunate enough to not only run a very large corporation, but we've been named as a Fortune World Most Admired Company for 7 years in a row now. To give you an idea of our scale, we process on average 3,000 transactions a second. That we have 46,000 employees worldwide, and we support thousands of financial institutions with over 6 million businesses in more than 100 countries. And last year, that equated to 2.4 trillion in sales volume processed. I won't go into this slide in too much detail, but I think it's just important to touch on the different areas of our business. So on the left-hand side, Global Financial Solutions, or GFS, this effectively provides banks and non-bank issuers with a broad range of solutions that they can use for their customers. Things like that would be issuing of actual physical cards, back office outsourcing, statements and letters, etc. The middle section, which is where we sit and where ACN's partnership sits with First Data, is Global Business Solutions. Now, we've touched upon it already, but in short, that is the ability to provide businesses from SME all the way up to large corporate with the ability to process transactions via any way, shape or form, whether that be face-to-face, over the phone, via the internet or on their mobile. We have a range of solutions that we can arm businesses with to help them take payments. And on the right-hand side is Network and Security Solutions, or GSS as we call it, and that's exactly what it says on the tin. So this provides a range of network security, risk and fraud management solutions for a wide range of businesses. And at the bottom here, what you'll see is just some of the businesses that we work with globally, just to give you an idea of the scale and who we are and what we do. Again, just touching upon this, so the way that we operate is we go into different regions, and traditionally we would partner with banks and we would white label a service for them. So the First Data / Fiserv brand is one that you might not know and one that you might not have seen before, but we are very prevalent in the world globally. And the way that we do that typically and historically has been to partner with banks. So you'll see some of the banks that we partner with across the globe. In the UK, we partner with Lloyds, in Ireland, AIB, but we do also go to market as our own brand, Fiserv, as well. A very brief snapshot of some of our clients. So the left-hand side is some of the partners that we work with. We work with a broad range of partners. A lot of these we've had a long tenure with, very prestigious brands like the PGA, the Professional Golf Association, the National Builders Merchants, ACN, of course. And then we'll work with software providers, etc. Anyone that has a large base of customers that we can access, we'll look to partner with. And on the right-hand side, you'll recognize some of those brands. And these are some of the premium brands that we work with specifically in the UK. So how do you generate an opportunity? In short, we'll run through this very quickly, but an IBO would identify a client in need, and the lead is submitted via your portal and a web to lead form which goes into our system internally. First Data has a lead management team. They would then confirm receipt of that. We would contact the client and then arrange for either a hot transfer to our telesales team or a meeting with our business consultant. Obviously at the moment we are in lockdown to a certain degree, but that will include face-to-face visits when we are allowed to do so. The sales structure at our end enables us to communicate and contact merchants in whatever way, shape or form. So we can complete everything over the phone. We can arrange for face-to-face visits, and for larger merchants, we can put them with senior business consultants at our end. What would happen at this point is the business consultant would meet with the client or have a conversation with the client. They would agree on the suitable product and service, and then they would complete the application form electronically, which would be processed via our auto boarding system. Once that happens, the support team would pick that up and provide updates of new client information when required. And once approved, the consultant at our end will contact the client and agree on a time to meet and install the hardware and complete and set up their payments process. Now, throughout this whole cycle, you will receive access to reporting so that you can see where your lead is within the cycle, and then at the end of it, how you'll get paid, which Thomas will come on to more at the end of this. Typically, this process will take between 1 and 14 days. We say 14 days from start to finish. We have seen examples of leads that have come in where a lead has arrived on a Monday, for example. The application has been completed same day and we've dispatched the terminal with them going live within 2 days. So we would give 14 days as a guideline, but there are examples either way of how that changes. Moving on to some of the devices that we offer. So some of the ways that your clients are going to be able to take card payments. We're very proud to have a product suite called Clover, which really gives us a bit of a USP in terms of the product offering. You'll be well aware, and we'll show you in a couple of slides' time, what the traditional terminals will look like when you take a card payment. The Clover product suite is very different. It's got that Apple sleek feel to it. It's an Android-based device that is cloud-based operating that really gives businesses the opportunity to have a full managed DPOS if they want, or just the ability to process card payments. What's really important in this day and age as well, which is unique to this product, is that it's pin on glass. Pin on glass technology, it was the first in the world to have a pin on glass technology. And in the current climate with COVID, having an antimicrobial pin on glass technology eliminates 99% of bacteria so that clients aren't having to interact, their customers aren't having to interact and press on rubber buttons to transfer germs. Payments can be taken by contactless, face-to-face, over the phone and online. You have the ability to send digital receipts, etc., and protect your business from fraud with a built-in suite of security features. I won't go too much into these products, but I just want to highlight some of the things that they do. So the Clover Station Pro is a full EPOS. This will really be an end-to-end business management system for clients that will allow them to focus on the things that make a difference to them. This will allow them to have detailed reports on sales, track inventory, customer loyalty, all of those things which small businesses need to make their business move. We also have a Clover Mini device, which is a fixed device. This allows the customer to take payments as they would, but it can also operate as a fully integrated EPOS system as well. And an EPOS system is effectively just a tool that allows a business to manage their business. And the Clover Flex is a mobile and a portable device. Really good in this day and age. This will allow someone to take their payment device out of their household or out of their business and collect payments while they're traveling. It has a built-in receipt printer and barcode scanner. It can operate wirelessly and can operate on a 3G plan as well. On top of the devices that we offer, we of course offer the standard devices that are out there today. So these are some of the ones that you'll probably see historically within businesses at the moment, and we can still offer those too. Now that's for face-to-face payments and over the phone. We obviously have the ability, particularly now with what's going on in the world, alternative payment offerings. Now, I won't go into this in too much detail, but effectively if a client needs to take a payment over the phone or online, we have the ability to offer that too. Our gateway is PCI level 1 compliant. Now, what that means is it's gone through the robustness and scalability that is needed to process and encrypt card data. So from a security perspective, this is the most secure you can get from a gateway. Our gateway processed over 1.2 billion transactions in 2019. And in a single day last year, we did 1.77 million. So just to give you an idea of the scale, the reliability and the robustness of that product that we offer. So some learnings and some FAQs. I'll run through some of these and then I'll introduce Thomas back in and we'll just answer some other questions as well. So within the first month, there's just really some of the barriers that we've had to completing leads, some of the things that we've seen. One of those is unable to contact. So around 20% of the leads at the moment have been unable to progress due to us being unable to contact that client. So please check in with your customer, make them aware that we do call from an unknown number. And they also have the ability to call us on a number provided that we send via email. On top of that, we also do send an email to the client after 3 unsuccessful attempts. So we will keep trying to contact that client up to 8 times. But please do make sure that if you do send a lead over, just check in with them to make sure that they've heard from us. We contact every client on the day that a lead's received. Does not wish to accept car payments or no opportunity to quote. Again, refer to the do's and don'ts and the FAQs before submitting a lead if you're unsure. Make sure that it is a genuine opportunity. One of the other ones is an existing client. So confirm that the client is not obviously with First Data already before you submit that lead. This does include our ISOs, which are independent sales organizations. The easiest way to confirm that is just by asking the client to review a statement. All of our ISOs will show First Data on their statements as well as our own clients. So if it's not First Data on their statement, then you're free to refer them. And it may sound like a bit of an obvious one, but invalid contact details, please make sure that the contact details you provide, that they are correct. Otherwise, simply we're unable to contact those clients for you. Now, I'm just going to run through some of these FAQs that we've had just to really probably answer some of the things that are burning inside and you may have on your mind. And then I'll open it up to Thomas, who has a few more that have come in from IBOs that we've had leads from so far. So what if I'm currently in contract? So that's absolutely fine. If you have less than 18 months, then we say it would be worth reviewing. We're also able to assist clients with up to £150 to count towards cancellation fees. Typically cancellation fees equate to the terminal rental amount multiplied by the months remaining on a rental lease. So if you think about a mobile phone, if you have 6 months left of your mobile phone and you want to cancel, you have to pay the 6 month rental. It's the same as what the rental would be for a terminal. That's how I would view it. We currently use a full EPOS system. Can you still help? Absolutely. So a full EPOS system is a business management system that allows a client to effectively run their business using a variety of tools. Now, we work and integrate with a number of large EPOS providers in the UK. We also have our own EPOS, which is the Clover Station Pro, which I showed you earlier. So in this instance, please submit the lead as normal and First Data will discuss in more detail. I think the key here is that we're not expecting you to know and understand everything. What we're looking for you guys to do here is to generate the lead, generate the opportunity, generate the interest, and then send it to us, and we'll do the rest. Can we approach customers that have not accepted car payments before? Absolutely. As long as they anticipate processing more than 10,000 annually, then refer them to us and we'll work them as normal. What types of terminals do you offer? So PDQs or hardware as they're called. And are there varied lease times available? So yes, we have a variety of terminals that will suit any business. These can be desktop that are just plugged in and static. They can be portable via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And they can also be semi-integrated to talk to an EPOS provider. And lease periods do vary from 12 to 48 months, depending on whatever the client would like to agree to. A few more. So how long will it take to receive my funds? So you can usually expect funding from payments you process to be settled within 3 to 5 working days. That's standard across our industry. Faster funding is available upon request, but it is subject to an underwriting approval, and additional charges may apply for faster funding. What card payments can I accept? So we'll enable you to accept all payments that you would anticipate and then would see traditionally out on the high street. Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Diners Club, etc. And then you have the alternative payment types like Apple Pay and Android Pay that we process on a day-to-day basis. Can I accept payments in more than one currency? Absolutely. Contact us and we'll discuss which currency you wish to trade in and how you wish it to be settled. Can I view my merchant account online? So yes, similar to online banking, you have an online tool called Business Track. This will allow you to view your card processing and your statements to monitor what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Just a few more now here. So how much does card acceptance cost? So I think the key here is to just rewind back to the first slide in that we are the largest in what we do, but we're not in a race to the bottom. So we can be as competitive as we need to be, but we do need to bear in mind that we're a business and there's several factors that we need to think about when we are looking to price a customer. So that will include projected card turnover, whether they're new to cards and average transaction values. What we sell on is solutions. We're very lucky in regards to the scale of our business allows us to be first and foremost in regards to the solutions that we bring to the market. So when you add value to a business, when you add solutions to a business, the price becomes secondary. Price is important, of course, but if you can add solutions via alternative payment methods, by making their business management easier and less complex, allow them to spend more time with their families, there's a value to that. And when you do that, the price becomes less important. So yes, we can be competitive, but we have solutions to offer that can really add value to businesses. Where is your call center based? All of our call center help desks are based in the UK. Do I have to use a card acceptance services provided by my bank? So this is really a historical pushback you'll get from people in that they think that they have to use their bank to process card payments. Now, what you would have seen on the second or third slide is that we do partner with banks and we white label services for banks, but what that shows you is that it's not the banks that specifically raise and provide those services. So no, you don't. Card services can be provided independently and you can choose who you want to from that perspective. How long does an application process take? So typically 10 working days, 14 days, submitting an application to completed documentation and processing applications. That's it from me. Thomas, I know you've had a few questions that have come in, so feel free to fire away and I'll do my best to answer, and any that I need to take away, I'll come back to you on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Rob, thank you so much for the presentation. I mean, this gives really impressive numbers. It tells a lot about the opportunity that there is in the United Kingdom in terms of how many transactions are made, how many business there are, and all your experience. And yes, after the first 30 days, a bit more, we have been in partnership. You covered a lot of the questions we have received as well, but we got some other questions and some good ones as well. And we cannot, some of them, I have to say to all of you, ladies and gents, some good questions. Some of them will take some time for us to look into. We'll make sure that all this information will be part of the Q&A so that you can ask, the question will be asked and the answer will be there. But there's some we can take right away. And one thing that I've heard, been asked a lot, Rob, is what is the maximum time period, a quote? When you get a quote from First Data for a shop, for a business, how long is that quote valid?
Sure. So we don't have a time limit on the quotations that we have. We really work on a communication level with the customers. So as long as they remain engaged, as long as they stay communicating, then the quotes don't have a time exposure. The one thing I would say is that we do have from time to time offers. Now those offers can be time sensitive. So as a general rule of thumb, we don't have a time limit on quotations that we send out. If there are seasonal offers, then they may have time limits, but they will be made very clear when we're talking to the customer. But to answer your question directly, no, there is no limit on the quotations that we send out.
Perfect. And that leads me into a next question, because also had this question a couple of times. Let's say I get a quote from First Data and I don't respond in time, but the lead is processed. I get the quote from First Data, and I don't take that. Now I don't respond. When I go back to you, and then all of a sudden I find out, yes, I do want to take the offer. Will there still be a link back to the IBO, meaning the IBO will get the points and the compensation because the lead originally came from the IBO?
So in that instance, Thomas, I would suggest that the customer comes back to us. Yeah. All of the customers will get a lead ID. So they will have a reference number for the lead that's been submitted by the IBO. So in that instance, the customer would need to contact us. At this point, the customer will have a direct contact at First Data. So they'll be able to contact them directly, who will already know and understand their lead. If they're unable to contact that direct contact, then they will have a number that they can call. And as long as they provide that lead number, then we'll simply just reopen that lead that's already assigned to the IBO, and they'll be paid accordingly.
That's great, because I mean, that's a good security, and it's a good security for the IBO. And I know that you have a very, very secure lead process. Every lead that comes in gets its own markings, so the lead is not lost, and the IBO is the correct lead generator is being paid. So that's great. Thank you, Rob. I got another question. It's not so much for Rob. It's more an ACN thing, ACN First Data thing. If IBO name and ID can be entered automatically in the First Data lead form when the IBO contacts. This is something we'll look into. We want to make it as easy as possible. So when you make the lead, your own details from your online shop, it transfers them automatically. If we can do that, then that's definitely a huge improvement, and it makes it easier for you. So we will look into it from both sides, both from ACN and First Data, and hopefully this is something we can do without any big issues.
So I do have some news on that, actually, Thomas, okay, which has happened this week. So the automation from the IBO portal to the web to lead form is now complete. So the IBO number automatically transfers to our form. You don't have to enter that in. Your name will still have to be manually entered. However, the way that it's all pulled and linked through, it's the IBO number which is key. So from a tracking purpose, that is now done, and that will automatically pull through from your portal to our lead form.
Perfect. Well, that's good news. A good question, though. Very good question. A question that you just touched base on before about the EPOS systems, if you have it, but there's a good question here, and it's asked a bit different, but it's a really good one. If a customer has an existing EPOS system, can they take the whole system, including their existing software, when they switch to you, to First Data, Fiserv, or do they have to use your hardware?
So the simple answer to that is either or. So as I mentioned, we work with a number of EPOS. So EPOS is separate to a card terminal, and I think it's quite key to define that. The EPOS system will manage their business, will allow them to process orders. The card payment device will allow them to process transactions. So what you'll find is a number of EPOS providers will integrate with a number of merchant processors like First Data. So to answer it very simply, they'll probably be able to keep the system that they have and just use our hardware, which will automatically talk to their EPOS system. However, if they do want to move completely and take our full EPOS system, then they're more than welcome to do that as well. So what will happen is that our consultant will run through that with them. They'll make sure and understand what their requirements are, whether their EPOS system does integrate into ours. And if it does, then we can just switch them out. There's no problem.
So what I hear you saying is this is not a reason not to submit the lead. I mean, when the lead is generated, the experts, the consultants from First Data will find out and will come up with a solution so that the business owner can look at the options. So you don't have to be an expert when you deliver the lead. Your experts, your consultants will do the rest. and we'll come up with the solutions and what can be done.
Absolutely. Look, like I said earlier in the presentation, we're not expecting you to be experts and be able to sell the solutions. That's not your job, that's our job. So if you can just create that opportunity, create that interest, a genuine interest, then we have very, very good sales staff that will be able to close those deals for you.
Perfect. And again, one of the things I learned is, and you covered it in one of your first points, is, and because I've got that question quite often, how fast will we see the points after submitting a lead? And as you described, it's 1 to 10 days. It can vary. I would say from an ACN perspective and from a First Data perspective, the more information you have, the more information that the shop owner, the merchant, the business owner has when it's when they are contacted by First Data, and the faster they reply to the different either the calls or the emails, the faster. From our side, we will as soon as the lead is confirmed from First Data, we will add the points. It doesn't mean that they have been up and running yet, but as soon as the lead has been confirmed, we will add points. And I think it's a very good system. And again, it comes down to the more information, we'll cover that in the do's and don'ts as well, but the more information that the business owner has when they are contacted, information from a previous provider, what is the usage, the better quoting First Data can do, and the faster we can connect the customer and the faster we get the points and you will start to earn. I think that's how it is, right, Rob? The more info, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. The more information you can give us in regards to their card processing, then it gives us a head start. Look, the IBOs will hold the relationship with the client. So there will be times when we may need your assistance to get something over the line. So what we'd say is just keep reviewing, keep on top of that pipeline. You'll get all of those updates through the standard way that you receive them now. And if you can help and assist to get them over the line, then please do so. But from our side of things, yeah, if you can give us information up front, then obviously that's going to put us in good stead. However, again, our guys are trained and are well averse with how to deal with that. So if you don't, then the basic information will suffice, and we will do that from our end either way.
I have 2 more questions, and one of them is quite, I've got it quite a few times. On your website, you have kind of an emphasis on travel companies. Our portfolio of innovative payment solutions are designed to meet the unique needs of businesses within the travel industry. Is that because you are specialized in the travel industry? Is that because you are focusing on the travel industry? Or is it because this is also a line of service, a line of business where First Data can do a difference?
So there's various sections within our website. So you will see various sectors, and travel is one of those. We don't specifically focus on travel. Travel is a very complex market from card processing perspective. And without going into too much detail, card processing is effectively a risk for a card processor. So travel, if in simple terms, from when you take a payment to when a product is delivered, is the risk for First Data. So when you think about travel, it's a high risk business, and one we are very well adversed in. It's one that we do a lot of business in, but it's not our focus area. And I think what you're referring to is probably a section of our website. There are various sections of our website which will be specific to retail and certain sectors, and one of those is travel.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question I have, and ladies and gentlemen, all of you who have submitted leads to your leaders, we all got the leads. Some of them needs a bit more explanation. It's just that because we want to give you the correct answer, we will make sure these questions are looked through, are answered. We will send the answers to your questions back to the respective upline so that they will get the answer. If they're really good, it's something we see more of. We will also include it in the Q&As that is available on back office and on IBO community. But there is one very good question, and how can we describe our relationship? This is a question. How can we describe our relationship with First Data? Are we allowed to say that we are an authorized representative of First Data? And I can answer that question, and I hope we are on the same page here, Rob. You are all independent business owners with ACN. And as an IBO, you have a lot of partnership with, you can go out and acquire customers for. You are authorized to do so under the ACN umbrella, but you are not under ACN opportunity, but you are not an authorized like First Data or EE or Virgin Media representative. You're an ACN independent business owner, and we partner with these great partnerships, and that is your link to it. And all the information, all the risk, all the negotiations between First Data and ACN is thus between the corporation of First Data and ACN. And you are an independent business owner that has the ability to go out and acquire customers. And I think that is, it's also something about legal standpoints here, Rob. So I think it's important that we don't, that we use the right terms to protect the businesses, to protect the individual business owner from ACN, and also to protect you.
Yeah, absolutely right in your description, Thomas. So an authorized seller would insinuate that you would be selling the product yourself, and in that case you would be completing applications, negotiating price, etc. All of that sits with First Data. So my advice would be that when you're describing your relationship and the referral to First Data is that you are an IBO for ACN and we have a partnership with First Data. And that's what it is. It's a partnership between the two businesses that allow us to work together.
Great, and thank you so much for taking this interactive Q&A session. I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, we will do more of these. I mean, I had a very long chat with Rob yesterday, and I know how committed First Data is to make this happen and how much we can learn from the process. This is an ongoing partnership, and we want to learn from each other. They learn from us, and we learn from them. And again, the better quality the leads have, the faster you will get the points, the faster you will grow your business, the faster you will earn additional income. And to sum this training up, I first of all want to say thank you so much, Rob, for taking the time. Also to explaining in detail how the industry works, how you work as a company, but also how we can improve what we have seen. And I just want to share a few slides here that cover some of the things and emphasizes also what Rob has said. And this is what we call the do's and don'ts. And it's actually a guideline on how to do it correctly. And the guideline is made to protect your business, to make you grow, and also to make sure that your customers get the best experience when they talk to you after you have generated the lead. And make sure, it says here in the do's, it's make sure that the business has a genuine need to accept card payments. If they already have a card machine, if they already have a relationship to another provider, they're a perfect match. But they can also be someone who is a brand new shop. The only thing we need to make sure is that they have an annual turnover of £10,000 yearly. That is £800 a month. That is a minimum requirement to sign up and become a customer with First Data. It needs to be a business for everyone, for you, for the business. And if it's under the £10,000 mark, it's not a real business case for any of us. Also, and this is one of the things that Rob also mentioned, make sure the business is aware that it will be First Data. They were calling for an unknown number, yes, but it's First Data, and they will contact the client, the lead, up till 8 times, and also send them emails. We will refer to the First Data will refer to the ACN relationship so that we can track the customer and they know this is the person I talked to. Now the company is calling back. Before the lead is submitted, it's good to find out who the current supplier is. Because as Rob mentioned, if it's an existing First Data client, well, then you can't switch them because they are already existing. So before the lead is submitted, find out who is their current provider. And again, very important because it speeds up the process. The more information we have, the faster we can connect the customer, the faster you can get your points, you can earn your bonuses and commissions. So that is really important. Ask the business to have the current statements to hand if they already accept cards. They will have some former invoices, some previous invoices, showing exactly what their business is doing, what is it that they have, and the experts from First Data will use that information to give you the best possible quote. Also, oh, that was a wrong slide. Please don't guarantee that they are. It's a finance. The price depends on what they choose, what service they choose. Do they want a big EPOS system? How big is their turnover? Price can vary from sector to sector, from business to business. So please do not talk price. Please do not go out and guarantee that they will have a saving. The quote comes from First Data, and they will have all the information to come with the right quotes. And then again, as a serious business that protects you and protects First Data and all our reputation, do not sign in a lead without the business knowing about it. I mean, we don't want to be contacting people without their knowledge with an offer for a new credit card processing, merchant services. So please make sure that the business you talk to, the business you refer, they are aware that they will be contacted by First Data to help them get a better quote, get a better service, improve their business. So the do's and don'ts, there's more do's, and all of this is done to give the customer the best possible experience with you and with First Data, because then we will get referrals as well. Then we can go out, because business partners, businesses talk, and then all of a sudden you can build a network also within First Data by acquiring business clients. Compensation plan. There's a lot of info here. They come from blah, 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 blah. The compensation plan can be found in the back office. And here everything is staged. And there is, again, we talked about compensation plan is based on first, how much turnover does the individual business or merchant ID have? If it's less than 800 a month, yeah, well, it's 0 points because the customer is not accepted. If it's between 800 and 3,000 pounds a month in the business, it will give 1 point. If it's from 3,000 and 1 point to 6,000, it's 2 points. And if we talk about greater than 6,000 pounds a month, it's a 3-point service. And this is for existing switchers, as we call them. They already have a system, they already have a deal with a different provider. If they're new to cards, it's the same 1 to 3 points, and it's with the device as well, so that they can use it, take the payments. One thing that is important to be aware of, if you are new to cards, meaning you have not previously taken payments from a card provider, then the first 3 months will be commission only. We cover commission in a moment. And the reason for that is, after 3 months, we can see into which bracket, because they don't have a record of how much turnover they have. It's a new business. Maybe they say we expect to have 800 or 1,000 pounds a month. It turns out this is a huge success, so you move up a bracket. So for the first 3 months, we cannot determine which points you will be actually given. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3. You will get the commission and you will get the points, but you will get the points after 3 months, because after a quarter, we can, together with First Data, see which bracket of turnover of credit card processing is the customer in. So this is why we will make sure, and we will also create some materials, put in the FAQ that makes this more visible so you can see it. And then last but not least, this is 3 examples we have created. To give you an example, what will the CV be if I sign up, the commission value? What will that be if I sign up a customer on a low average, on a low transactions, medium transactions, or high transactions? And again, this is it's examples, so it might vary. You might be between the two here, but let's say on a low, what we estimate as a low transaction yearly, monthly, £1,000 a month, that will give you, together with the terminal lease, a commissionable value of £30.9 a month. That is for the what we call the low example. The medium example, which is a merchant monthly card turnover, can be a bigger store. It's £30,000. Then you will have a total commission value of 84.7. And then in the high example, where you have a turnover monthly over £50,000, then including the terminal, you would have £108 in commissionable value per month. This is examples, and this is a low, high, medium. Of course, you can be somewhere between £10,000 a month and 30,000. It can be 15,000. We have made the examples so that they're easy to explain. Then, of course, your CV will be higher. Use this as the more turnover, the higher fees the merchant will pay to First Data. And it's the fee that the merchant pays to First Data for using the services that is the background for the commission. It's not the amount of transactions, it is the fee that the business pays to First Data. That's where the commission is paid out on. But again, as a rule of thumb, if you have a big business, then you pay a higher fee. If you pay a higher fee, we can pay you a higher CV. And what's really important here is also just again to underline that these points, they are lifelong. The commissions are lifelong. It's a lifelong service, like we know it from Blue Green Energy, like we know it from Joy. So the customer stays active. You earn commission and points as long as they pay their bills and stays a customer with First Data. And also, and that is really important when you talk to the people you want to sign up to, the businesses, First Data will help you. You can switch a customer, even though they have up to 18-month binding period. If they're within 18-month binding periods, you can still sign them up. And there might be a breaking fee. The consultants at First Data will help to explain how they can help. They will support up to £150 in breaking fee. So you still have options. Even though they have an existing payment solution system, you can still go out and you can still talk to them, generate the lead. And if they're in a binding period, First Data is also willing to help them. And then remember, all this information, examples, do's and don'ts, the training, everything can be found in the ACN back office, in your back office. We will also have the training available on IPO community. Lots of frequently asked questions will also be found here. So there's a lot of information, and we will do follow-up trainings bi-monthly or monthly, or when we feel the need, when we have something new to announce. Lots of new people come in. We will learn from month to month when we grow our business together with First Data. So we will have more trainings to equip you the best, to make you, in order for you to be able to go and get as many customers as possible and build your business. Last but not least, the points, they will count for of course, the qualifications. They will count for caps. They will be part of the combined customer bonus. Let's see, you get 2 points customers, that's £200. And more importantly, if you talk to a chain, a business that has several branches and they all have their own merchant ID, then every individual merchant ID will count as one customer. Meaning, let's say you have a big chain of burger bars, 10 burger bars with a turnover in the high end. That means 3 points each. Then you will have 10 times 3 points. And also you will have commission based on the total commission that is generated. So there's so many options, there's so much opportunity. The only thing that is important is get all the right information, make sure that the person that you refer, that the business you refer is aware that they will be contacted by First Data, and make sure that they have the relevant information. The more information they have, the faster we can switch, the faster we get your points, and the faster you will qualify and you will earn additional income. So again, Rob, thank you for being with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that the first month is an indicator of how great this will be in a lifelong partnership, because we're amazed and we are very happy to work with you. And I just want to say on behalf of everyone here at ACN, we know what you have been doing because we have seen it. Keep on the good work, and we hope that we can see a lot of new qualifications coming out of also our partnership with First Data.